Welcome to the It Factor. We're Jemmy and Nye, exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML and MSP in Queens, NY, offering network management, VoIP and UCAS, cybersecurity, compliance, IaaS, cloud, and Microsoft 365 and Azure solutions.
That's right. And if you're a small business owner or maybe you manage IT for a growing organization, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Today we're tackling a really critical issue. It's been hitting the headlines. Let's say, false security of paying ransomware demands.
Yeah, it often feels like you're solving the problem, but really, you might just be opening Pandora's box. We've got a prime example that shows exactly why.
Okay, let's get into it. You mentioned a specific case.
Absolutely. The idea that paying up just, ends the nightmare. It's a really dangerous misconception. Take PowerSchool, the big education software provider. What happened there is a stark warning.
PowerSchool, right. They're huge in school. So what exactly went down with them?
Well, back in late December 2024, they got hit. A significant ransomware attack.
And we're talking serious data here.
Oh, yeah. Massive breach. Over 60 million student records, 9 million teacher records, all compromised.
Wow. So what did PowerSchool do?
They made the tough call. They paid the ransom, and they even got what looked like proof, confirmation that the stolen data was deleted.
Okay, so they paid. Got the all clear, supposedly. End of story. Sounds like it should be.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But no. The story took a really nasty twist just a few months later.
What happened?
Well, by May 2025, the same attackers popped up again. But this time, they weren't going after PowerSchool directly.
Who were they targeting then?
Individual school districts, the ones using PowerSchool software. They hit them with fresh ransom demands.
Wait, using the same data? The data that was supposedly deleted?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Threatening to release or sell the very same data from that original December attack.
So, just to be clear, the school districts themselves weren't newly breached.
Nope, no new breach occurred. The attackers were just leveraging the old PowerSchool data they clearly still had.
That's like being mugged twice for the same wallet. Unbelievable.
Precisely. We know at least 4 school boards reported getting these new demands. It just hammers home a crucial point. Even if you pay, even if you get proof of deletion, there's just no real guarantee.
It's classic double-dip extortion, highlights how you fundamentally can't trust these actors.
Absolutely.
It really makes you wonder, why would anyone believe these criminals? Our source material digs into this. Let's start with the obvious one. The money.
Yeah, you have to understand their mindset. They see your ransom payment as revenue. Simple as that. If you've shown you're willing to pay once,
you become a target for the future.
Exactly. A prime candidate, especially if they still have your data, they basically see it as, well, a business opportunity, a repeat customer.
Right. And the fact they operate from the shadows, often overseas, using crypto, makes it easy for them to keep coming back, doesn't it?
That's a huge part of it. The anonymity, the difficulty for law enforcement to actually track them down and hold them accountable, it just emboldens them. There are a few repercussions.
And, okay, even if they do delete the data set they showed you, what's stopping them having copies stashed away somewhere else?
Nothing. That's a standard tactic. They often duplicate the stolen data onto multiple other servers, maybe cloud storage, who knows. So yeah, they might show you one deletion.
But they've got backups ready for round 2, like with PowerSchool?
Precisely. That proof of deletion, it gives a totally false sense of security. It's practically worthless.
Okay, so paying is risky, potentially pointless in the long run. But there's another angle too, right? Paying actually fuels the whole problem.
It does. It might feel like you're backed into a corner just trying to minimize damage for your business.
Which is understandable.
Of course. But looking at the bigger picture, every single ransom payment validates their criminal business model. It signals loud and clear.
Yeah.
Ransomware works. It's profitable.
Which just encourages more attacks, brings more criminals into the game.
Exactly. It creates a more dangerous environment for everyone.
Okay, so paying is a bad bet. These criminals can't be trusted. What can small businesses actually do then? How do you avoid getting into this mess? The blog post really emphasizes proactive defense.
Yes, and this is where businesses can really take control. The absolute foundation is a robust backup strategy. You often hear about the 3-2-1 rule.
Remind us what that is.
Sure. It means having at least 3 copies of your data stored on 2 different types of storage media, with at least one of those copies kept off-site. And ideally, that off-site copy is air-gapped.
Air-gapped meaning completely disconnected from the network.
Exactly. Physically disconnected.
Yeah.
So even if your network is compromised, that backup is safe. If you can restore your data reliably, the attackers lose their main leverage.
Makes total sense. The blog post also mentions something called immutable storage. What's that about?
Think of immutable storage like writing data in stone, digitally speaking. Once it's written, it can't be changed or deleted for a set period, even by an administrator or, crucially, by ransomware.
Ah, so it guarantees you have a clean, untouchable backup version to go back to?
Precisely. It's another strong layer of defense for your backups.
Okay, backups are critical. What else is key for proactive defense?
Network segmentation is vital, and strict access controls.
Explain that a bit.
Imagine your network is a building. Segmentation puts up strong walls between different departments or types of data. Access controls are like security badges. They ensure only the right people can get into specific rooms.
So if an attacker gets into one room, they can't easily move to others.
That's the idea. It limits the blast radius of an attack, contains the damage.
And finding the weak spots before the attackers do. The blog mentioned vulnerability assessments, penetration tests.
Absolutely essential. Regular vulnerability assessments are like checking all the doors and windows are locked, scanning for known weaknesses, like old software patches you missed.
And penetration testing.
That's more like hiring a friendly expert to actually try and break in. They simulate real attacks to find exploitable holes you might not even know exist. It shows you where you're truly vulnerable.
Okay, and finally, having a plan for if, despite everything, the worst happens. Disaster recovery incident response plans.
You need those blueprints ready before the fire starts. A disaster recovery, or DR plan, outlines exactly how you'll get your systems and operations back online after a major disruption.
And incident response. IR.
The IR plan is your step-by-step guide for dealing with the cyber attack itself. How to contain it, how to kick the attackers out, how to understand what happened, and how to recover, all while minimizing damage and downtime. Practice is key too.
It really sounds like defense in depth. Multiple layers are needed.
That's exactly it. There's no single silver bullet.
Now, for listeners maybe feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this, it is worth mentioning that CDML, the MSP whose blog post inspired this discussion, actually offers services covering these areas. How can an MSP like them help a small business specifically?
Well, they can manage those backup and recovery processes for you, implementing the 3-2-1 rule, setting up air-gapped and immutable storage, and crucially, testing the restores regularly to make sure they actually work when you need them.
Takes that burden off the business owner.
Right. They can also help develop those tailored incident response plans, provide 247 network monitoring using advanced tools to spot threats early, and run employee awareness training, including phishing simulations, because often humans are the first line of defense.
And compliance, too. That's often a big headache.
Yes, they can help navigate requirements like FERPA for education, HIPAA for healthcare, or the NYDFS cybersecurity regulations in New York, making sure you're meeting those obligations.
Okay, so the bottom line really seems to be, don't gamble on paying a ransom.
It's a gamble you're likely to lose, one way or another.
The PowerSchool story shows that clearly. It can just lead to more demands down the line. Building that strong, proactive security posture, that's the only reliable path.
Investing in prevention truly is the most effective defense against this whole cycle of extortion.
So reach out to CDML today and turn prevention into your most reliable protection. Stay safe, stay informed. You can contact CDML at https://cdml.com/contact.
You can also read more on their blog at https://cdml.com/log-2 and listen to their blogcasts on YouTube. Just search for CDML Computer Services. Till next time.